Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Franklin TV's coverage of Franklin High School athletics. We come to you live tonight from the Franklin High School gym to bring you girls basketball versus the Hockomock competition of the Mansfield Hornets. I'm Jay Horrigan. I'm joined by Chris Shanahan. And Chris, this on paper at least should be a very good game.
Yeah, I agree. There are two teams, both 10-4 in the Hawk. Going to be a good matchup tonight.
Yeah, the one thing we do have is that there is a flu bug or something going through the Panthers. They've only got 13 ladies in uniform tonight, and we actually have a little different starting lineup than normal. Kaylee Fernandez is going to start in place of Lauren DiGiorgio, who is out sick, correct, Chris?
Yeah, she is.
Okay. See, that's the benefit of having a student with us who knows who was in school and not in school today, so it's good. Franklin controls the opening tip in this Hockomock rivalry battle. Malamina goes to the basket, and that rolls in for her. Nice start for her. Franklin coming off a loss to Dartmouth the other night in a non-league contest. Pass to Fales on the far side. Malamina. Malamina gets it to El Bonacci, number 23. And that's Fernandez, the sophomore, who passed it. And Santos with the long shot that's no good. Rebound by Mansfield. Long pass there. The officials are going to talk about it. They're not sure Franklin touched it.
Yeah, it looked like it went off Franklin's hand.
I thought it did too. Mansfield, gets that ball knocked away. That was Spagna trying to roll to the basket, but it gets taken away by Franklin. And now Bonacci has it at the top of the key. Over to Fales. Fales gets it to Santos. Santos takes it. Lefty layup, no good. And coming up, Palenza for Mansfield. Long-range shot there. That was Sophie Klang who had that three-pointer. It was no good and ends up being a foul.
Yeah, going back to the Mansfield possession before, talking about Fernandez filling in for DiGiorgio. Second possession down the court, gets a steal and pushes the ball for Franklin. Great play.
Yeah, when we were first talking about it, Chris, before we came on the air, we were both like, ooh, DiGiorgio out, that's going to be tough. But Fernandez, at least scoring-wise, may be able to fill DiGiorgio's shoes in terms of the amount she scores.
Yeah. Another great offensive rebound by Fernandez, too. Starting off this game, good game. Pushed up in the starting lineup.
Well, when they had senior night the other night, Fernandez kind of saved them for most of the game because the girls did not play that well for the first three quarters. Our officials tonight are Mark Dre and, now I'm drawing a blank.
Brian Gill, I believe.
Thank you, Brendan Gill. That's why I told you, because I knew you'd remember. I'm getting old. Brendan Gill and Mark Dre, the gentleman in stripes. That rolls off. Fales comes up with the rebound. Gets it over to Malamina. Malamina back to Fales. Fales into the corner. Fernandez tried to do something, nothing there. Malamina gets the ball knocked away by Foley from Mansfield. Foley's going to try to take, she ends up dishing it to her right. No good. And that ball gets knocked around, and Franklin comes up with it. Fails, gets it to Malamina. Malamina to the basket again to Fails. That's blocked. Looked like Sophia Foley got a hand on that one for the Hornets. And Foley's shot is no good. Franklin comes up with the rebound. Fernandez will bring it up court. Fernandez going to get it back out top to Fails. Fails to Bonacci. Santos now. Malamina. Everyone's touched it in this possession. Bonacci looking for an opening. Fernandez. And there's going to be a foul there against Foley. Will not be a shooting foul as Malamina goes to the ground. You know, in the long run, as a couple of subs come in here for the Panthers, one for Mansfield, Chris, in the long run, this may help the team with Fernandez getting significant playing time against such a good opponent here.
Yeah, really well, and she's been playing good to start this game, playing well throughout the season. So to get her that exposure, especially playing against a good varsity team, especially as a sophomore too, really helps build this team up.
Fails with the three-pointer there to give Franklin a 5-1 lead. Mansfield looking for an opening. There is Caitlin Triolo, who is the daughter of Mass Premier Men's League legend and officiating legend Tony Triolo, one of the best three-pointers to play in the Mansfield Mass Premier Men's League, along with assistant coach for Mansfield, Jimmy Choquette. So we've got two tremendous three-pointer shooters in the stands tonight. And I'm going to guess, Chris, absolutely no one cares about that, except for me. 5-3 our score. That attempt there by Tessa Rodriguez was no good. Mansfield got the rebound, but then Palanza fell to the floor, ended up getting called for a travel, and Franklin will take over. Santos will inbound it. Fails now with the ball. And she has that shot blocked by Kaylis Diaz. Mansfield here trying to get something going. They're doing a lot of that pick and roll. They're just not connecting, at least yet, on their passes.
Yeah, they're trying to get the ball down low. Some of their good players, but can't get the passes off. They got 3 early turnovers.
Yeah. That's number 22 there is Sophia Sacramone in the game for the Panthers now, along with Tessa Rodriguez, who we mentioned on the last trip down, and that drive to the basket was Juliana Owen. No good. Mansfield comes up with the rebound. Score still 5-3, under 3 minutes left in the opening quarter. Mansfield's coached by Heather McPherson, who is a former standout athlete at Mansfield High School. And that basket is good, and that's Triolo with the lay-in. We're tied at 5. 2.5 minutes left. Sacramone gets it over to Fails. Fails gets it to Santos in the corner. Gets knocked away. Santos picks it up. Gets it to Rodriguez. And drive there by Owen. And loose ball, and we're going to have a held ball call. And that's going to go in favor of Mansfield. Going out for Mansfield is Sophie Klang. And Ali Kopi was the player number 30 that came into the game for Mansfield. That ball gets knocked away, the last touch by Mansfield, so Franklin will inbound it under their basket. Santos will be the inbounder. Santos for 3, no good. Rebound there by Foley. Foley tries breaking a little bit. They keep looking down low. trying to get it to someone down there. Palanza gets it over to Diaz. Foley here. Triolo. No, that wasn't Triolo, my bad. That three-point attempt was Kopi, and it was no good. And we have a Mansfield foul there on, I think that foul was on Palanza.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, her second foul, team's third of the quarter, minute and a half left. Going to get a foul there. Against Mansfield, a hold. That'll be the fourth.
Coach Layton going with quick subs in this first quarter. Already subbed back in Fernandez, Bonacci, now Malamino.
Yeah, and Tessa Rodriguez getting a couple of minutes there. You know, Coach Layton had said to us in the past that he's going to use 9 or 10 players and see what are the best 5, the combination there, for to see who's playing well together, and he'll keep changing that, which is evident tonight. I think they've already played 7 or 8 girls.
Yeah, just under 6 minutes in, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Completely blanked on that right there.
That's all right. You're working with me, so no matter what, you're going to sound good, Chris. Foley tries to work around the screen. Nice dish underneath to Diaz. Diaz went for the layup. It was no good, but it was blocked. There's going to be a foul there. And the foul is on Fernandez, her first, team's second, with under a minute left in the quarter. Diaz's first foul shot is no good. She'll get one more. And Diaz breaks the tie, puts Mansfield up for the first time tonight, 6-5. Malamina with the nice jab step lays it in for the 2. 7-6 now. Franklin back in the lead. Triolo setting up the offense here for the Hornets. Foley just on the three-point line, so it would have been a 2 if it went. It did not. This one, that attempted pass went off, I think, the legs of Fernandez. So Mansfield will inbound it. No shot clock, 20 seconds left in the quarter. She's going to get called for, Triolo gets called for a travel there. And Franklin will get the last shot attempt for the quarter. Santos drives to the basket, tries a right-hand layup, was able to roll that in off the backboard to put Franklin up 9-6. So good first quarter for the Panthers, considering they're missing DiGiorgio.
Yeah, good first quarter for them. A little bit of a low-scoring game. Offenses took a little bit to get going, but Franklin's defense has been especially good, causing that. They've forced 4 turnovers already in that first quarter and only allowing 6 points. Great. Coach Layton's got to be pleased with that.
Yeah, you've got to wonder if the offense will start coming to both these teams after they feel each other out. You know, in anyone who's been around Franklin High sports for any length of time, every time you play Mansfield is always a battle, no matter what sport it is, for the most part. And that should, my guess is that'll be no different tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Both these two teams, too, they're good scoring teams.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah.
So.
Now, Franklin did have a tough night last week on senior night, although they came out with a 50-30 win. They had an unbelievable fourth quarter that night to be able to pull away. They lost to Dartmouth on Monday, so we'll see what the offense is like tonight. So Franklin will get the inbound on the alternating possession. And Santos gets it in. Oh, Malamina's pass is broken up there by Foley. Foley takes it all the way down and lays it in for two. Those mistakes, Chris, Franklin can't make if they want to beat Mansfield tonight.
Yeah, and we just talked about the offense is getting going, and now another two straight back-to-back buckets for them.
Malamina there with the nice lay-in. Foley for a long-range three. No good. Fails, comes up with the rebound, kicks it up to Fernandez. Fernandez tries to hit Santos cutting to the basket, but it went over her head. It'll be Mansfield ball to inbound. Klang brings it over the midcourt line, gets it to Foley. Foley tries to lay it in, couldn't get it around Malamina. Fails came up with the rebound. She gets it to Malamina. Malamina brings it into the front court. Now Santos has it. Santos. Oh. That was Bonacci who kicked it out to Fails. Fails shot no good. Going to have a held ball there, and this will go to Mansfield. Foley tried to get that through three defenders, but ended up we had a foul call against Mansfield, and it'll be Franklin ball. Fernandez goes out of the game, and Rodriguez comes back in. Coach Layton is really keeping the revolving door on the subs there. Nice layup by Fails. He just keeps subbing in, Chris.
Yeah, quick in, quick out. Wants to keep him fresh, and working so far. Might as well stick with it.
Well, and they're coming out. They're playing full court defense and everything, so that they're going to get more tired more quickly. Long range three there, no good. Rebound, nice rebound by Spagna. She takes it, no good, and ends up in the hands of Malamina. And this is Bonacci bringing it up. Gets it to Malamina, who rolls into the middle, lets it up and in. And a timeout, Mansfield there. Malamina having a very nice game compared to what she had last week on senior night. So I'm sure she'll be very happy with that.
Yeah, she's getting to the basket at ease. Not stopping her. She's getting down low. She's getting easy layups every time.
Tonight she just looks so comfortable out there.
Yeah, calm. She's getting the ball at three-point line, one move and just right to the basket.
I believe she's got either 6 or 8 of the 15 Franklin points so far. So that's a huge bonus to help out, pick up some of the slack of no DiGiorgio tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was Mansfield's first time out. They've got 4 left. So Mansfield comes back out. Foley will inbound the ball, and Franklin will pick up Mansfield full court. And that ends up going out of bounds. Sophie Klang trying to dribble and kind of lost the handle on it and went out of bounds. And Malamina, we'll see what she can do here. Nice pass to Fales, but went off Fales' hands and out of bounds. It'll be Mansfield ball. And Fales, one thing Chris, like about her being a captain, she immediately looked up at Malamina and said, that was on me. It was my fault.
Yeah, good team player. Taking accountability, flush it, move on. Next play.
And I think part of that is she realizes that Malamina can be a very emotional player, and you want to keep her. She's playing so well right now, you want to keep things positive with her.
Yeah.
Little 15-foot jump shot is no good. Rebound, Mansfield, and Foley throws it off the leg of Sacramone, and it's going to be Mansfield ball.
Yeah, good heads-up play by Foley there.
Yeah.
Possession.
Triolo gets it out to Spagna. Ends up back in Triolo's hand. Now Foley. Oh, they had a whistle there. The shot clock never ran. The Mansfield coach, you may be able to hear, she was not happy that the officials stopped play while Mansfield was running their offensive set, but you've got to because the shot clock wasn't going. And missed jump shot there by Klang, and Franklin brings it back down. You know, that stuff, Chris, I'm sure is very frustrating for coaches. You know, especially there's Mansfield struggling right now to score, and to have a offensive possession interrupted by a whistle because the shot clock's not working has got to be frustrating.
Yeah, really bad break. Trying to get in a rhythm, gain some momentum, and then something like that happens. And obviously, Coach McPherson frustrated and justified by that.
Talking about a rhythm, Malamina just laid it in again for her 10th points, 9th and 10th points so far tonight. Mansfield trying to break this kind of man-to-man trap that's going to be a travel, yeah. A few people unhappy about that call. Malamina gets it knocked away. Shot in the corner. Sacramone good for three. 20-8, the Panthers in the lead.
Yeah, it seems Mansfield there adjusted to Malamina getting the ball in the middle. Tried to trap her, and great heads-up play by her to hit the outlet. Get Sacramone for an open three.
Yeah. Nice move underneath. No good. Going to be Mansfield ball, but that was a really nice move by Palanza. Inbound to Triolo. She gets it down low. Back out to Foley for three. No good. And that's going to be a held ball. That's going to go to Franklin on the arrow. So Diaz back in the game for Mansfield. Pass to the far side. That's Sacramone for three. And that opens up a 15-point spread, and Coach McPherson feels she's got to take another timeout, Chris.
Yeah, talk about making the most of your minutes.
Man.
Sacramone checking in again and then hitting two huge threes for Franklin, just boosting this lead, giving them all the momentum.
You know, it'll be interesting to see how long Coach Layton keeps her in, the way he's subbing so quickly. Although this quarter's moved quite quickly. We're down to just over 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Franklin up 15, 23-8. But it'll be interesting to see if Sacramone gets taken out anytime soon, or he just lets it roll with her.
Yeah, I'd say keep her in. Feed the hot hand until it runs
Absolutely.
out.
Her and Malamina, you probably want to keep on the court constantly till they get cold and someone else gets hot. Or you hope that that lead ends up getting big enough where even if they get cold, they're still able to maintain it.
Yeah. Both of them are staying in, though.
They're both on the court, yeah. Along with Rodriguez, Fails, and Bonacci. Foley gets the ball inbounds. Oh, nice pass to Triolo. She bounced, great bounce pass by Triolo over to Diaz, who lays it in and gets fouled. Will get a chance to make a traditional three-pointer. And Santos comes back in the game. And she comes in for Malamina.
Yeah, that was a great offensive sequence from Mansfield. Exactly what you want coming out of the timeout there.
So the table had called over to the referee. I guess they weren't clear on who that foul was on. Diaz, no good. And Sacramone lost control of that, tried to push it forward to Fernandez. Didn't work out, ball went out of bounds. Sacramone here on the defense, nice job. Bounces off Foley's shoulder. She's able to save it. Nice save. Kept it from going into the backcourt. Foley gets it to Diaz. And Diaz thought Foley, I think, Chris, was going to cut to the basket, and she didn't. And the ball ended up going out of bounds.
Yeah, miscommunication leads to, that's Mansfield's 8th turnover of the half.
That shot no good by Sacramone. I'm sorry, by Bonacci. Bonacci has it now. Santos was going to put it up. Fails. Takes it to the basket, no good. And it's rebound by Franklin. They try to put it in, no luck. Now it's Mansfield ball. And that's going to be a foul on Bonacci. Palanza is going to get the opportunity to shoot 2 here. As Bonacci's called for the foul. And Mansfield has 2 subs coming in now. One will be coming in for the shooter. Palanza's shot is up and no good. Fails comes up with it. Gets it up to Bonacci, who gets it to Fernandez. Back to Fails. Santos. Santos, nice drive to the basket. She got bumped. No foul there. Missed her layup and rebound Mansfield. And Foley will bring it up. Being guarded closely by Sacramone. Foul called there against Mansfield. A hold as the girls were trying to go for the loose ball. Just over a minute left. Only 2 team fouls on each team. So Franklin will try to get back to at least a 15-point lead, but they turn it over there, and then Mansfield turns it right back over to Fales. Out to Sacramone, no good. Rebound fails. She's looking for something to do. And before the shot, before Sacramone put that up, they award a timeout to Franklin. Coach Layton started calling that, well, Fales was kind of tied up under the basket, Chris, and he was afraid of getting called for 3 seconds, I think.
Yeah, wanted to maintain the possession there.
Yeah, so it's only Franklin's first timeout. So they've got 4 left. Mansfield has 3 left. So one of the officials who is here tonight was here a few weeks ago. He gave us a false name. When he was here, he gave our man Pete Royce an NBA veteran retired official's name, so he tried doing that to me tonight. He identified himself as Joseph Crawford, who is a retired NBA official. So Franklin will inbound it. 35 on the shot clock. Fales gets it. We're down to 45 seconds left in the first half. Oh, Fales pass. Looked like that might have gone off Triolo, but they didn't have it any touching, so it'll be Mansfield's ball, and Triolo will inbound it here on the near side, and she gets it to Foley. Shot clock still on. Mansfield doing a little weave, trying to get someone open, break into the basket. There, oh, nice attempt trying to get Triolo going to the basket, but it's broken up by Fernandez. Fails. Over to Sacramone. Back to Fales. Fales, nice pump fake. And she drives it midway through the lane and puts it in for 2. 3 seconds left. Foley gets that off. No good, goes off the backboard as the horn goes to end the first half. Nice first half, Chris, by Franklin.
Yeah, Coach Layton's got to be pleased with the way his team's playing. I think the story of the game so far is Franklin's defense.
Yeah, absolutely. They've done a great job on defense. So our score at halftime is 25-10. Franklin in the lead. I would recommend you go grab a sandwich or some kind of cool, refreshing beverage. And we're going to take a quick break of approximately 9 minutes. We will see. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have that sandwich and that beverage with you as we get ready for a second half of girls high school basketball here at Franklin High School. I'm Jay Horrigan. I'm joined with Chris Shanahan tonight. Chris, what'd you take out of that first half?
That first half, Franklin's defense was phenomenal. Coach Layton's got to preach that in the locker room at halftime. They forced 9 turnovers from Mansfield in the first half, and only allowing 10 points is ridiculous and incredibly impressive.
And on top of that, they were able, in the second quarter, they scored 16 points. They had 9 at the end of the first quarter, so they were able to get the scoring going a little bit. But the defense was so strong, it almost seems like they scored more than they actually did.
Yeah, they completely controlled the pace of the second quarter. It was all them. They have all the momentum, everything going for them right now. So Mansfield's going to have to make some major adjustments to catch back up.
Well, their leader, Sophia Foley's going to try to do that. Mansfield just can't break that kind of man-to-man / zone. I'm not even sure what you'd call this matchup defense. But whatever it is, it's working for the Panthers.
Yeah, it seems they're switching on a lot of almost every screen that's happening for Mansfield. They're just having defenders slide in open spots and just take away any driving lane to the basket.
And right there, a great example of Franklin's defense being able to get the shot clock violation. And Mansfield couldn't even get the ball except for just a brief moment into the lane in that whole possession.
Yeah, they're forcing them to settle for threes, and Mansfield 0 for 6 from the three-point line today.
That's going to be a 2 if it goes. It does. Bonacci for 2. She had a foot. Her right foot was on the three-point line, so it's only a 2. Mansfield's going to have to get something going soon, Chris. And that's going to be off of, it's going to be off of Franklin, I guess.
Yeah, they're pointing Fernandez off her shoe, maybe.
Yeah. So Foley will inbound it for the Hornets. 19 on the shot clock. Gets it into the middle to Spagna. Spagna able to put it down for their first basket of the quarter. 6.5 minutes left in the third. Still a 15-point spread. Malamina gets it to Fails. Santos. No good. Mansfield comes up with it, brings it up the court. Palanza gets it to Triolo. Triolo misses. Going to be a Franklin foul here on the rebound as Spagna tried to get it, and it's going to go against Santos. Foley gets it in. Nice layup there. That was Klang, Sophie Klang, number 20, who laid it in. Malamina goes to the basket, but before she gets there, she gets fouled by Palanza, and it'll be Franklin's ball underneath. Santos gets it into Fails, who lays it in for 2. Gets that spread back up to 15.
You see Coach Layton keeping Franklin pressing full court, not giving any space to this Mansfield offense.
Well, Chris, it's worked. It's done what he's wanted it to do at this point. So, as we said earlier, he was changing players rapidly like we were in a hockey game. But if he could keep doing that and keep them fresh and be able to play the full court press that's obviously very effective, why not? That ball gets knocked away. Going to be a push foul on, I think that's Bonacci in the far corner. No, it's Malamina. That's Malamina's third foul, so she'll take a quick break here And Tessa Rodriguez, number 14, comes in. And Foley works around a couple of Panthers and lays it in, 29-16. Chris, one benefit of that defense is that Mansfield's forced to take 30 seconds out of the 35-second shot clock. They have long possessions, and if you're down 13 or 15, you can't afford to have such long possessions.
Yeah, Franklin, they score right here again. If they just keep this lead double digits and keep it around here, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Coast through.
Foley goes all the way for the basket, and Coach Layton calls a timeout. As Mansfield, so far, this is their highest scoring quarter. They've already got 8 points this quarter, and we're not even halfway through.
Yeah, they look like a new team on offense right now.
Yeah. So Franklin with the 31-18 lead, 4:41 left in the third quarter. And Franklin doing this all without one of their starters as, excuse me, DeGiorgio is out. She's, the latest report we got from Chris Shanahan is that she was not in school today. She was ill, so that's why she's not playing tonight. Anything further on that report, Chris?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Seeing if we could get some inside scoop.
Yeah, I have a class with Coach Layton as my teacher, and he overheard him talking about his game tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And his players who are in and out.
That's how to get the inside scoop. So Bonacci with the ball gets it to Fernandez, who drives to the basket. Kind of an errant shot. And then there's going to end up being a foul on Bonacci. Franklin again with that full court press. Foley gets it to Triolo, who gets it to Palanzano. Kling back to Foley, back to Spagna, and Triolo, no good for three. And that's going to be white ball. That goes off the hand of Sophie Kling. And Franklin will inbound it on the near side. 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Franklin's actually slowed their scoring pace down a little bit, but there they go, pick it up on the drive and lay-in by Rodriguez. And the spread's back up to 15. Foley goes. That's going to be a foul on the pass. I think it's going to be against, it's Bonacci, a foul on her. And Juliana Owen will come back into the game for Bonacci. Outside shot by Triolo, no good. And Sacramone comes up with the rebound, gets it to Fales. Fales to Owen. Owen to Rodriguez for three, no good. And nice block out there by Mansfield. Allows them to run the floor. That shot's no good. Their shooting touch, Chris, Mansfield's just not there so far.
Yeah, really struggling to get these shots right down inside the paint to fall.
And how much of that do you think is Franklin's defense? Nice block there.
A lot. They're playing really intense, especially under the hoop. And there's another one right here.
Triola, no good there, and Franklin comes up with the ball. They're almost hesitant to put up a shot because of the defense, it seems. That shot gets blocked. Santos thought she got fouled, but no call. Mansfield brings it up the court. Still 33-18, 2:20 left here in the third quarter. Foley, cross dribble, and it gets knocked away, and now in the hands of Fales in the front court. She kicks it back out to Owen, who's going to set something up. Now Fales with it. Oh, and that gets knocked away by Foley. Sacramone on defense, nice defense. And Santos is going to get called for the foul as she attempted to block Ella Palenza. I normally start off every broadcast apologizing for mispronouncing names. I thought I could get them tonight, but obviously I couldn't. First shot, no good. So Franklin, first time they've had 5 fouls in a quarter tonight. I think that was Santos's third. So she's taking a little break.
Yeah, her and Malamina both with
3
fouls.
Yeah. Waiting to come in is, my eyes aren't working. I think that's Fernandez at the scorer's table.
Yeah.
Rodriguez drives through the lane, lays it in. Really nice shot there by Tessa Rodriguez. Triolo gets it to Foley. Foley gets it down into a corner. Number 15, Maddie Boyle, who it's the first time we've seen her tonight. Fails, attempted that steal, no good. Shot, no good. Rebound gets bounced around and ends up in the hands of Franklin. On another steal by Foley. She's going to lay, and she comes up short on a layup. You could see the frustration in her eyes, Chris.
Yeah, that sums up this Mansfield offense tonight. Just really struggling to get the easy ones, too.
Yeah, that should have been a no-brainer. And Foley with the block. Great block there, but Fales was able to pick it up. Now it's back in Mansfield's hands. Foley asks for the ball back. She gets it. Gets it back to Triolo. And her shot is no good. Good news is I'm getting a call from a telemarketer. I chose not to answer it. So at the end of 3 quarters of play, Franklin opens that lead up by another 2 points. They're up 16, so 1 point. They were up 15 at the half, 35-19. I was told there'd be no math. That was what you were supposed to do, Chris. Mm-hmm. The addition and the subtraction tonight. So defensively, that was another really good job by the Panthers.
Yeah, and like you were talking about earlier, the intensity of their defense, just forcing Mansfield to miss the easy ones down low. We saw Foley with that fast break layup. And those are just, Coach McPherson's just got to be not disappointed, but just it's
frustrated.
Yeah.
And as a coach, I don't know, what can you say? When your best player, and I'd say arguably just watching them tonight, Foley's probably their best player, followed by Triolo. They're just not hitting their shots.
Yeah, off night for them. And
yeah.
Especially in a good league matchup like these two teams from the two towns, it's just really unfortunate to have on this night.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure it is frustrating for Coach McPherson, her entire staff, and I'm sure it's frustrating for the players. They expect to come in, and we'll see what happens. Things change very quickly in high school basketball. They may all of a sudden get in a roll, and Franklin only scored 10 points there in the third quarter. So if Mansfield can get hot, theoretically they could get back into the game, but it's got to be a daunting task when you've had such a tough night.
Yeah, they really got to try to gain some of the momentum back. It's all on Franklin's side, really since halfway through the first quarter.
Yeah. I have noticed that Coach Layton is subbing less frequently than he did. He's kind of found his players that are on their game tonight, and they're the girls that have stayed in.
Yeah, experimenting a little bit at the beginning, found what worked, and got themselves a 16-point lead, so can't be mad about that.
One player that's in there that hasn't been in tonight is number 1, Lila Regan. That was a shot clock violation on the Panthers. So Regan covering Triolo now. And Triolo drives to the basket. Her shot's no good. 2 girls go after the ball. It's going to be a held ball. And this will go to Mansfield with the alternating possession. Nice hustle there by Kaylee Fernandez. Foley to inbound it. And she gets called for violation. And Chris, I don't know if you saw her after she got called for that violation. She just kind of put her hands up in the air. You could see the frustration in her face.
Yeah, nobody getting open. Don't want to force a bad pass, but then you got to think, you got very little time to get that ball in.
Yeah, that 5 seconds will go, and that gets knocked away by Foley. That's the 3rd time she's done it in the second half. Before the shot, Tessa Rodriguez is going to be called for a foul. But yeah, that 5 seconds flies by when all of a sudden, it's like anything. When you're being timed, you feel the time running down, you just tend to panic. Now Lamina's going to come back into the game. And going out is Liz Dumais. Foley able to get that one in. That shot blocked by Santos. Foley for 3, no good. And Bonacci comes up with the rebound, and she's going to be fouled by Diaz. First team foul against Mansfield. And our score is still what it was at the end of the third quarter, 35-19, 6:43 left to play. Klein comes back into the game. She comes in for Boyle for Mansfield. Bonacci will bring it up. Fales is out of the game for the first time tonight. Fales is like nice spin move there by Fernandez. But Fales plays just about every minute of every game, Chris.
Yeah, and that's the player you want as your captain.
Yeah.
Your Coach Layton. Going to give you 100% every time they're on the court.
And that's going to be a call against Fernandez, an arm bar, as Foley went to the basket. So Foley will shoot 2 shots here. 37-19 our score, so it's an 18-point spread. And Fernandez just spoke to the referee, held her forearm up, and that foul shots. That right there is typical of how their night's going, Chris.
Yeah.
You can see it in Foley's reaction, that she's just frustrated. I think she normally would make that. Oh, no. That's going to be a violation against Diaz for stepping in too early.
Yeah, and going back to that free throw miss, Mansfield is 3 of 11 from the free throw line.
Wow.
Those are just the shots you've got to make. Keep a competitive game.
Yeah. Steal by Diaz. She goes all the way down. She lays it in. Kind of makes up for that violation. Mansfield, and that gets taken away by Foley. That's the 4th or 5th time that this half that's happened. She'll go to the basket. Bounce pass to Diaz underneath. Rolls around. Mansfield picks it up. No good. Nice attempt by Palenza. and she is unable to put it in. 5.5 left, still at 8, no, still a 16-point spread. And that pass gets knocked. Franklin's passing is a little off, even though they're still got the lead, Chris, but I think that's more indicative of Mansfield not hitting a shot.
Yeah, much less efficient second half, I'd say, for Franklin. And you can see some of the frustration from Coach Layton coming out.
Yeah, Coach Layton's working much harder, and that's going to be against Malamina. That'll be her fourth. And Fales will come back in for Malamina. But, Coach Layton's working much harder this half. He's a lot more pacing on that sideline.
Yeah, much more pace and more vocal.
Yeah.
A lot of the first half, he was sitting down. There's really nothing he needed to say to his team. They were playing up to par.
They were almost on like autopilot. They were playing so well.
A little bit more struggles in the second half, but still got a 16-point lead.
That shot's no good. And Bonacci ended up coming up with the rebound. Santos bringing it up court. Back to Bonacci. Back to Fernandez. Santos gets it to Bonacci, who brings it into the left side, and that's going to go off of Mansfield. So fresh shot clock for the Panthers. Doing a better job, the Panthers are protecting the ball this possession than they had the last few possessions. Missed the shot, but they didn't have it stolen away by Foley this time.
Yeah, it seems like every possession where Franklin hasn't scored in these past couple minutes has been a Foley steal.
Yeah. Foley kicks it out. Three-pointer attempt, no good. That'll go off of Bonacci. Didn't hit the rim, so the shot clock stays where it was at 14. Foley will inbound it for the Hornets. Spagna gets it to Triolo. Triolo brings it out top. She's going to try to go to the basket. She does. Her shot rolls around, can't fall. And we're going to have a hell ball. This will be Franklin's possession with now under 4 minutes left, still a 16-point spread. And that's another example, Chris, of the night for Mansfield. That's going to be a foul against Foley. That shot by Triolo hit every part of the rim, just didn't fall.
Yeah, it's just one of those nights for them. Shots aren't falling, nothing really going their way.
And Coach McPherson takes a timeout here for the Hornets. Yeah, they just, clearly that their shooting is not where they're used to. They're having a hard time on foul shots, layups, everything. And I'm sure the entire team's got to be frustrated because obviously to have the record they have and to have the season they've been having, they've obviously scored a lot of points.
Yeah.
And tonight's just not their night scoring.
Yeah, going back to their shooting too. They're really struggling down low, but even more outside from three. They're now 0 for 10 with that last three-point attempt. They haven't yet to hit a three.
That's tough. I don't think they rely on the three as much as, say, Franklin does because it seems, especially early in the game, they tried. A lot of times they were looking for an open cutter going to the basket. So I think they rely more on that, but you can't expect to win when you're 0 for 10 from three.
Yeah, and a big part, Franklin's defense, taking away those lanes in the middle, forcing them to settle for those threes. So good defensive strategy there by Coach Layton in this Panthers defense.
That goes off Bonacci's foot and out of bounds. It'll be Mansfield's ball, but now 3.5 minutes left. Still a 16-point differential. Triolo, nice pass underneath. Off-balance shot, no good by Diaz, and Franklin will bring it up to their offensive end. Santos for three, and that's good. As we hit just about the 3-minute mark, Santos opens the lead up to 19. Foley for three, no good. I'm sorry, that wasn't Foley, that was Triolo on that missed three. Held ball, it'll be Mansfield ball on the alternating possession arrow. So Foley will inbound it. And there ends up not wanting to get a 5-second call. Coach McPherson calls a timeout, and Mansfield to be down to one timeout. We're under 3 minutes left, 19-point lead. And if you're Franklin, Chris, I would think continue just playing good defense and try to use all 35 seconds when you're down at the offensive end.
Yeah, time is their best friend
as
of right now. And you spoke about it earlier, the Mansfield possessions going into possibly 30 seconds, just leaving 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Franklin would be totally fine with that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mansfield, on the other hand, they got to get, every time they get the ball, they've got to get it up right away. You know, high school basketball, I've seen so many odd things happen in all the years I've watched high school basketball. So you don't ever say a game's over, but we're getting close to that mark where it's over.
Yeah, expect to see Franklin on offense. Mostly Coach Lane have him stay outside the arc, just keep passing back and forth. No turnovers. They turn the ball over more times than they'd like to in this fourth quarter, especially the second half. But Franklin hasn't scored what they're used to. They've only got 40 points. But it's been more than enough, and Foley, that layup doesn't go. Triolo's 10-foot jump shot doesn't go. Foley will go to the basket again. And finally, she gets one to fall. Coach McPherson is yelling at them to press. Diaz will pick up Santos. And that gets knocked away by Triolo, but it'll be Franklin ball. And coming back into the game is Boyle, coming in for Diaz. And Santos will inbound it here. Gets it to Bonacci. 20 seconds on the shot clock. And that drive there by Sacramone is no good, but she got fouled, so she'll go to the line and shoot two. Foul on Sadie Jablonski, number 23 for Mansfield. No, there is no 23. Jablonski's not on the floor. Had to be 24. So Palanza, that had to be on. I'm thinking. I may be completely wrong. Foley trying to get to the basket. She does, lays that in. 41-25 our score. Under 2 minutes now left. Sacramone bringing it up. Gets it to Bonacci. Oh, gets it underneath to Fales. Fales, a backwards over her head shot off the backboard for two. Triolo with it out top, gets it to Boyle. Eventually back in the hands of Foley. See what she can do. Nothing playing. She's being guarded closely.
And finally, Palanza puts one in. 16-point spread as we hit the 1 minute mark. And you see on the sideline by the scorers table, at the next whistle, Coach Layton is going to sub out everybody, Chris.
Yeah, he's going to empty out the bench here. Basically secures a Franklin win tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be a foul on Foley, I believe. 4th team foul, but everybody's going to go. Everybody's going to come in. So whole new lineup here for Franklin. We've got Regan, Dumais. That's Grasso who threw the ball in. Morrison, and a steal there. And Morrison picks up the foul. Good basket there by Palanza. Morrison picks up the foul. Said Grasso is out there. Dumais is out there. Juliana Owen is out there as well. And Regan, that's the 5 the Panthers have out there. Inbound it. We got under 40 seconds left. It's going to be a foul there on Klang, and going to the line will be Owen for the Panthers. Coach Layton still working, still coaching. 43-30. Back. Owen back rims the first foul shot. We do want to thank our producer, director, head of technology, head of graphics, head of everything, Chris Leverone, for guiding the ship tonight. He was the first one here, and my guess is he'll be the last one to leave. I know I'll be out of here before him. But as always fun working with Chris Leverone. And that's going to be a foul on Foley, and Grasso's going to go to the line to shoot 2. You could see, Chris, in Triolo and Foley for Mansfield, you can see the frustration and the disappointment. You know, I'm sure they had hoped and wanted to come in and play a much better game, make this a much closer game. Although it's only 14 points, it really has been more than that for most of the game. Grasso ends up scoring.
And Foley and Triolo have definitely been, I'd say, the 2 best players for Mansfield tonight. And so they're obviously frustrated. They've been giving it their all, and to still fall short. And I think we have a timeout here in Mansfield with 11 seconds.
Yeah, Coach McPherson uses her last timeout. 13-point lead by the Panthers. So, but Coach McPherson just coaching. So Franklin's going to walk away with another victory tonight, and over their constant rival, the Mansfield Hornets. So that'll be nice for Coach Layton and the girls.
Yeah, always good to win this matchup.
Yeah.
These are the ones you look forward to on your calendar throughout the year.
Yeah. And since the girls are here, the boys are in Mansfield tonight. I'm sure that's a excellent matchup as well, I would think. So Mansfield's out of timeouts. We've only got 11.3 seconds left. Franklin will inbound the ball here. Looks like Grasso's going to be the player to inbound it. She can run the end line, as official Mark Dre indicates. Ball's in, and Triolo fouls Regan, and Regan will go shoot 2 foul shots. And Ellie Copey is going to come in for the Hornets, after the first foul shot here. Regan sinks the first one. And sub coming in now. Going out for Mansfield is Sophie Klang. So, at least for Mansfield, Foley's only a sophomore, Triolo's a junior. So, Foley that picks up her 5th foul. But, you know, considering she's a sophomore, she really played well. And you could tell she's got a lot of confidence in her game because she was in command of Mansfield tonight. Now, it didn't work out. They weren't able to score the way I'm sure she wanted, but she was clearly the player in charge out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Mansfield team, they only have 2 seniors on this varsity roster, and for the season they've had, they'll move to 10-5 tonight. They definitely have a bright future ahead of them.
Absolutely. So Regan sinks both of those as the clock winds down. And any final thoughts, Chris, as we wrap this up?
Nothing much, just a great defensive game from Franklin.
Yeah, really was. Great job coaching by Coach Layton. So our final score is 48-32 for Chris Leverone and Chris Shanahan. I'm Jay Horrigan. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Franklin TV.